was monitoring the bush rats. Like I would then, when we were in school, my principal would say, "Who are those bush rats?" Those children that run around in the bushes. So today too, we can see another system that will help the principal pump students jumping over the fence to go home when it's not school closing time. So we call on the last but not the least, school, State College. So while they pump, all this while I've been speaking on young boys who need innovations, and it looks like girls don't do innovation. No. One of our judges here is actually one that had made the normal cassava we knew. Back then, I just knew cassava was used to do tapioca, we call it itaiwa, gari, and fufu. But today, I heard one sexy me, permit me to use the word, cassava flakes. I only knew about corn flakes, but today I know something about cassava flakes, and that's courtesy of her. So we had a woman who did a wonderful innovation back in 1905. She designed the wiper we have in our vehicles today. Before then, we had vehicles without wipers. And you will ask yourself what happens when there is heavy rainfall. That means those vehicles had to park. Women think far beyond what the men see. She designed a wiper. And in 1922, Cadillac was the first vehicle to produce a car and adopted an invention. Today, every car has a wiper. Very soon, our eyeglasses will have wipers. Thank you. State College for the women.
My name is Ephraim, and I'm 18. I'm on the State College.
My name is Oyema Prince Elechi.
My name is Etinyoma Andia.
I know it will interest all of you to know that over the years, the world has struggled earnestly to finding pace without glimpse of development because of the hardcore structure of the earth. The hardcore structure of the earth includes the hard and the rigid materials consisting of the earth. Therefore, in a great quest in finding answers to solving these problems, a technological savior, such as what you see in front of you, was created in order to answer the problems of man, to create good access to road network and other infrastructural services. So here we are presenting before you a 360 giga rechargeable excavator right here in front of you, and a very unique one. Alright, let's also look at the brief history of an excavator. An excavator was first invented by James Watt and an English entrepreneur. Meanwhile, the first ever 360 excavator was invented by Richard Smalley, and this great invention is what you see in front of you.
Alright, I'll be talking of different parts of this special excavator. Please, I would like you to permit me to go down and touch different parts of the excavator. Please, I can do that. The excavator you see here is operating on the 10th class order of labor. We are meant to know that in the 10th class order of labor, that the effort is between the fulcrum and the load. Now, the load lies on this place, and here the junction is where the fulcrum is located, and here is where the effort applied is located. Thus, the excavator you see here today is acting like a machine because it has all the properties of a machine and can act properly like a machine. Before I proceed, I would like to talk on machine. From our knowledge of physics, we are meant to know that a machine is a device that a small effort is applied at one point to overcome a resisting force at another point. Now the excavator you see here today is made up of two parts. We have the part on the rotating base and the parts and the moving parts. Now, the moving part of this excavator consists of the axle, the sprocket, and the chain. And also we have the motor fan that enables this excavator to function properly. Now, I'd like to talk on the motor fan. The motor fan in which we use in making this excavator as a team consists of magnets that is present inside and a magnetic core and a copper wire. That is, when current tends to flow through the copper wire, contraction between the magnets makes the motor fan to turn, thereby causing the motion of this excavator. Now the part of the rotating base. The part of the rotating base of this great excavator is made up of also motor fan. The reason we use motor fan in making this excavator is because the usage of hydraulic now is most expensive than using motor fan. That's why we use this motor fan in every work that we do here. Now the rotating part of this excavator consists of a cab, which is the place where the operator stays to sight out every activities that is going on the background. And also we have the boom here. The boom here gives support to the arm, while the arm gives support to the bucket. The bucket here then takes a portion of the earth. Now I'd like to talk also on the principle of function, the main parts that enable this excavator to function properly. We have the remote here present. The remote here is made up of aluminum zinc and also it's made up of switches and battery and copper wire. The battery in which we use is 7.5 volt battery. Now, the remote here is the most important part that controls everything about this excavator. The remote here, it has changed current that are being received from the battery. It has changed it from negative to positive and from positive to negative, causing the motion of this excavator. The remote here also, I say it consists of aluminum zinc. The reason we use aluminum zinc is because it has less affinity over corrosion, and also it has copper wire. And the reason we use this copper wire is the same as that of the aluminum zinc. That is, it has less affinity over corrosion. Now, inside of this remote, there are springs connected, and there are switches that controls each part of the remote. That is, if you want it to move, you on a particular switch that causes its motion, then you operate these two surfaces. Now, these switches that we place here as a team have different functions. The first of each here controls it, the pulling and the lifting of any load that this bucket carries. While the second of this switch controls the motion of the excavator. As you can see, I've just on the switch to the moving part of it, which is here. And also we have the turning switch, the switch that controls this is turning, which is the dead switch here. Let me switch it on now. As you can see, it is turning. While the last switch here is the switch that controls the motion of the bucket. I'll just switch it on. Okay. Now, the reason I have to use, the reason I have to put in switches to these different control surfaces is to avoid partial contact. That is, I would like to be controlling the moving part while the turning part of it is turning. Alright, at this junction, I would like my colleague to talk on the merits of the excavator, the reason for this great invention in Ephraim State.
Alright, let's look at the economic importance of an excavator. This excavator you see here is a rechargeable one. It does not make it of course, and we all know it is disadvantages and what possible has done to us all as humanity. These tractors here can help in the infrastructural development, just as the government has a primary aim of making good infrastructural development for all the citizens. So therefore, if more tractors are being formed or invented, that means Nigeria will be created, that Nigeria will be more developed.
As said earlier, a machine has principles of function. Here we have the bucket, the arm, and the boom. They all work as a class order of a pulley because it has its effort between its load and its fulcrum. Also, it also functions on the principle of gears with the aid of the electric rotors. Further, the importance of the electric excavator is one. We know that in the combustion engines of other excavators, which uses fossil fuel, it gives off carbon monoxide, which is harmful to the environment and causes global warming. I believe for the past 2 or 3 weeks, all of us have been experiencing it, true or false. So, if we have such machines over the ones that use fossil fuels, that means that we can tackle the problem of global warming. Also, it has low maintenance. It has low maintenance culture because we don't use hydraulics and lubricants.
Thank you very much. And it's all over to the class.
Okay, thank you very much. Surprised that everything you said, you didn't mention the benefits for farmers. Yeah? And then you made a statement. You said active like a machine. Is this a machine? So why did you say it's active? Active like? Because that means you're confused. You don't know if it's a machine or you're acting. Or it's a machine. Okay. And then the next one is what's the distance of control? Because I see you're using magnets and copper, which is fantastic. And that's the futuristic solution we are actually buying for the construction sector. So what's the distance of the battery control?
I think in this excavator you see here was to be in the large form. There will not be anything like distance of control because the control part of this excavator would have been situated inside of this cab where the operator stays. So we just use local material to make it.
Okay. And then the size of battery magnets are going to use. What size?
I made mention of magnets because I said motor fan mainly is composed of magnetic or copper wire. So this magnet is found inside of the motor fan. So I was just explaining on how the motor fan tends to function when current.
I know. What size of magnet are you using?
Well, it depends on the rotor. Rotor is made up of magnets.
What's the power capacity that it generates?
And the excavator you see here uses 7.5 volts.
Now you're getting it. Because you need to understand your numbers. Because you are doing magnet, it's a renewable energy. It doesn't use fossil, which is fantastic. So you need to know your numbers in order for you to calculate it so you can scale it up for scalability. Because you're just doing it, this is a pilot. But when you go into scalability, you're not going to be using 7.5 volts to calculate it. And you must also know the control panel you're going to use for action that can connect it, control it anywhere you are.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. That was a great one. And like I promised earlier, that I was also going to bring up women in the innovation because one of my jobs is also of that gender. So we have a woman who thought it